Xeno Crisis, the 2D pixel shooter released in 2019, is getting a port for the Gameboy Advanced. While this is cool news, it's also weird that this is the second GBA game getting released this year, much less within the last month.
It's weird that it happened twice, right?
As you can see from the video, it's not like this is some grand port or something. It's pretty much already a GBA game anyway, but hey, it's cool that they're doing this regardless.
Welcome to Necro News, the show where we cover the hottest gaming news from the last week. This week we'll be covering the voice actor strike, the EDF6 controversy with EGS, and Castle Crashers getting a new DLC. So yeah, it's been a very weird week in gaming.
No, seriously, it's been very strange. Anyway, subscribe to the channel to get cool news like this every week. The FTC has thrown the gauntlet at Microsoft's feet again, as they claim that Microsoft, after going through with the Activision Blizzard merger, is now offering a degraded product after Microsoft announced the Game Pass standard.
They also increased the prices of many of their other services, such as PC Game Pass becoming $12 a month, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate becoming $20 a month, and finally the service that has the FTC's panties in a twist, Xbox Game Pass, which is now called Xbox Standard, costs $15 and doesn't have day one game releases.
That last bit is important because this is more or less what the FTC expected Microsoft to do, and what they wanted to avoid. In their words, anyone who uses Game Pass on a console must now pay 81% more to switch to Game Pass Ultimate, and if they don't want to, then they are getting a degraded product, being the Xbox Game Pass Standard, which still costs 36% more than console Game Pass and withholds day one releases.
Also important to note is that if you already have the Xbox Game Pass, you don't need to transition, as you've still got the services you've already had. These new prices only apply to new users.
This is something that essentially Microsoft promised not to do when in the court circuit, but honestly, a company lying and using deceptive wording to gain more profit? No way, that could never be true.
You would think that if the FTC was expecting this, they would focus on that instead of, focusing on how they affect Sony of all things.
But anyway, that's just our opinion. Let us know in the comments what you think about the merger, and if you even plan on getting Xbox Game Pass anymore. I did want to add that every other subscription service do hike their prices all the time. I mean, just look at Netflix. They don't even do DVDs anymore.
And in a turn of events that I don't think anyone saw coming, the behemoth, developer of games like Alien Hominid, Battle Block Theater, and Pit People, has announced a DLC for Castle Crashers 10 years after the game has come out.
The DLC is pretty impressive for what we could see. It includes a new playable character known as Paint Jr., and the game itself has gotten a graphical overhaul, looking more 3D than 2D now. But the most important part of the DLC is that it allows you to completely customize your knight, letting you draw whatever you want for your head.
And this isn't just a texture swap either. According to the announcement video, the game will automatically animate the new player's head for them, probably using the same necromancy magic they used to revive this dead game.
I can't believe we got new Castle Crashers content before we got GTA 6.
Is that an important threshold or something?
I mean, everyone says it, but it really isn't, because GTA 5 came out in 2013. So what we should be saying is, I can't believe we got Castle Crashers content before we got new Elder Scrolls game, because Skyrim came out in 2011.
We're old.
We're ancient, bro.
Josh is up in danger! Chip! Oh my god, no! Okay.
Despite me not being much into Street Fighter, I have to admit that was one of the coolest things I've seen since the Daigo parry.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, that wasn't the only hype moment this year. As is customary, this year's EVO saw an onslaught of trailers and announcements for upcoming fighting games and DLC.
First, we'll talk about SNK vs. Capcom SVC Chaos, a remake of the original game. While this is something many people are looking forward to, there was a lot of concern over the game. Upon booting up the game, it has one of those messages that basically say, "We aren't censoring anything, but please don't be mad at us for the lewd stuff," essentially. That being said, there has been censored promotional material, because I guess cleavage isn't real.
Guilty Gear Strive also announced Season 4, and with it, a ton of characters, new stages, and a 3v3 mode. Of the new characters, we got Queen Dizzy, Venom, Unica, and to literally everyone's surprise, Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Why is she in a Guilty Gear game?
Cause she hot.
That's a good reason.
Street Fighter 6 showcased Terry from King of Fighters, and Tekken 8 showcased Heihachi coming back from the dead after getting thrown into a volcano. Have you seen Mortal Kombat? No one stays dead in fighting games.
I'll never get Zappa back. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, right. There were a few other things. Beetlejuice and Samurai Jack for Multiverses. Versusia for Grand Blue Fantasy. She's like the final boss or something. I don't know. I don't play gacha games. Vice and Mature for King of Fighters 15. Kevin Ryan for Fatal Fury City of Wolves. And Maro M for Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact. Fucking Hunter x Hunter.
Because somehow Hunter x Hunter is still relevant. Once again, actors are going on strike, but this time it's voice actors. You might be asking yourself why.
Yup, it's about AI voices. Last year, SAGAFTRA, which sounds like a spell from Final Fantasy, voted to authorize a strike because gaming companies wouldn't budge on using VA's work to train AI.
We covered a few instances of AI being used last year, specifically in Skyrim and Cyberpunk mods, but this is in regards to actual legitimate companies using trained AI over hiring the talent themselves.
The strike started on Friday and will be ongoing until protections are put in place that prevent voice actors from having their voices used to train AI. Additionally, big names such as Matt Mercer, Jennifer Hale, and Troy Baker have pledged to support the strike.
But who knows how effective or how long the strike could last. But this is coming off the heels of the big Writers Guild strike, so it could go on for a while.
My only concern is that people won't really care all that much because voice actors are kind of a dime a dozen. But despite me being an AI apologist, I do think this is a gross misuse of the technology. And I kind of think it's weird. I don't like the thought of replicating someone's voice to do with whatever you want.
But what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below.
This next story is rather strange and it kind of hurts to talk about. So as we highlighted last week rather loudly, EDF6 came out and everyone was excited until...
When you boot up the game, it requires you to create an Epic Games Store account even if you bought it on Steam. Actually, scratch that. You can only buy it on Steam. There are no EDF games available on the Epic Store whatsoever. So why do you need an Epic Games account?
Usually this would be where we rip on the company for making a really stupid decision or something. But this time I genuinely believe it was a misunderstanding. You see, this game is crossplay across all platforms, and the only possible way that D3 saw to do this was to use the Epic Online service.
While we were researching into the story, we found that many other cross-platform games use the Epic Online service, but most don't require the use of an Epic account, so what gives? That's where we think the misunderstanding came from. Somehow they were either misled or didn't understand how to implement the service correctly.
Now they have since posted on the game's store page that they are looking into reversing the process and what they can do to fix it. It's a good faith move and honestly one that should be applauded as they actually listen to their fans.
As for when we'll play EDF, a lot of people have expressed their interest in us playing, so we'll probably do it sometime after August.
The EDFD boys! China!
Our last story is what we wrote ourselves. We're like real reporters now. Let's talk about the Chinese company BD Games. In June, BD Games and every game they published was 100% banned from Steam. As for why they were banned, the most commonly accepted theory is that they were trying to manipulate user reviews with free codes.
Thankfully, a few games have slowly started to return to the stores, such as the previous Buried Alive banger, Life is Not Auto, as well as this game, which does unabashedly use AI art for its in-game characters. Unfortunately, these games returning to Steam doesn't mean everything is okay though. You see, when the game is delisted from Steam, the owners of the game are still able to play it and download it if they uninstall the game, but they won't be able to get any updates or any DLC.
However, since the game is now being re-added to Steam, it has to be resubmitted to the store. This means previous owners will have to repurchase the game to get any new versions and DLC. And as you can imagine, this is an issue, because who would buy the same game twice?
So how are the developers fixing the issue? By directly sending keys of the games to owners via email. That's a pretty cool thing to do, especially since it's obvious they're trying to take care of their customers. However, it should be noted that when keys get redeemed en masse, it can trigger Steam systems to look into suspicious activity, which is the very thing that led to BD Games being banned to begin with.
We'll just need to wait and see how this all plays out, but if you owned a game by BD Games, such as these, then you may be entitled to financial compensation.
What an ancient meme.
Like I said, we're ancient.
No Buried Alive banger this week, But if you have any suggestions, be sure to submit them in our community Discord in the link below.
A quick announcement about our Discord. We've been looking into it and we'll be restructuring it to be more easily accessible. It'll be a slow process, but just bear with us while we work on it.
And here are the games coming out this week.
There is not a single game on this list that I actually know. Kitsune Tales, maybe. Is that about a kitsune? Yeah, it is. It's about a kitsune. Kitsune?
Kitsune.
Oh, okay. Now that Ellie is done with Alien Isolation, we're going to be spending the week finishing up Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, you heard me. I'm giving myself 3 days to finish Ninja Gaiden.
The reason for this is starting next Monday, which is our birthday week, we'll be taking a bit of a break. From August 9th to the 20th, there will be no videos or streams. There will, however, be a new Necro news on Wednesday the 21st that covers the last 2 weeks. And on August 24th, we'll be doing a huge birthday anniversary / donathon stream.
It'll be a big celebration and the debut of Ellie's new model. And come here. No, closer. It's gonna mean a whole lot to us if you're actually there, so do it.
It would mean a lot to us, so we hope to see you there.
Besides that though, we might do a movie or two in the Discord. Anyway, that's it for this week's Necro News. If you like what we do here and want to keep up to date, subscribe to the channel.
And also a very special thank you to all of our channel members. If you want your name to show up here or see any extra bonus videos, be sure to become a member.
That's all we have for this week, so until next time everyone,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.